Hi there, hello, and salutations, my friends. We are back with another one of my state park adventures. Today, my beautiful family and I are at Lake Wateree State Park. So far, my Ultimate Outsider adventure quest has been checked off alphabetically, but not often are my kids in town, and I know something really special is waiting for us here at Lake Wateree. It even said so on the website. Let's actually get into that. See, my kids and I would like to refer to ourselves as connoisseurs of state-of-the-art playgrounds. We know a thing or two about fantastic playground setups, and when we saw on the website for Lake Wateree that they have a state-of-the-art playground here, we knew we had to see it. And that's actually all there is to that state-of-the-art playground. Since we visited a few months ago, they've actually updated the verbiage on the things to do section of the website to no longer refer to a state-of-the-art playground. I think that was a wise choice. Upon properly arriving, we were greeted by the Squirrel Squad. Look at these little guys. We drove nearly 3 hours to be here today. It was so nice to hop out of the car and stretch our legs. We've got to kick it for just a little while before the park office opens. We're gonna head in there, Morgan and I, and we're gonna rent kayaks. Take these kids out on the water for the very first time. Peeking past this informational kiosk at the sun peering through the trees over this beautiful foggy lake was inspiring, to say the least. Look at the little beach down here. No sand, just dirt, but I'm sure you could have a fun time here with your family if you get past some of the trash. Look over there in the water. You see those little fish? I'm pretty sure those are bream. Looks like a little family of them. Seeing these little guys here makes me want to invest in a micro, like a tango setup to catch the smallest fish possible. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to see a micro fishing adventure. Lately, I've been kind of obsessed with putting the biggest fish on the board, but that might be a really nice change of pace to aim for the smallest possible. Now that the shops open up, let's go check that out real quick. We're only really in here to rent the kayaks and get out on the water, but just so you know, they got a little something for everybody in here. If you come unprepared, you're sure to right yourself with a little coin. They don't really advertise this, but along with your kayak rental, you get a free whistle. Shortly after getting out on the water, in the distance we spotted something strange.
Oh, what's that?
That is something weird. Hey guys, what's that?
That thing swimming in the water. Oh, it's a jellyfish. Somebody stabbed a jellyfish.
That is a dead fish.
Oh, it's a fish?
Yeah, it's just bloated and on its side. Months later, looking back at this, I think that what we saw here was a bass experiencing barotrauma. Don't you know that only the biggest bass live at the bottom of the lake? But also, don't you know, those fish are so used to the pressure down there that when they're rapidly brought to the surface, it can cause their swim bladder to overinflate, making it impossible for them to dive back down to the depths. Professional fishing associations like Bassmasters have been educating anglers on how to properly perform fizzing on barotrauma experiencing fish, and studies performed in both the US and Canada reflect a positive mortality rate on fish who need fizzing who have been versus fish who need fizzing who haven't been. Anytime a fish is experiencing barotrauma, you basically give it a death sentence by just dropping it back into the lake. Barotrauma really only sets in after a fish has been left out of suboptimal pressures for far too long. If you leave a fish in a live well for any amount of time, you risk introducing it to barotrauma if that fish was caught super deep. You must return that fish as soon as possible, or you run the risk of bloating it up. But don't just take my word for it. Let me introduce you to a real educator, Barb Elliott of Bassmasters.
The swim bladder in deep water is like this. When you bring fish up to the surface, it expands, it presses against the heart, so the heart can't pump blood. So no matter how well oxygenated your live wells are, the heart cannot physically pump the blood to absorb the oxygen to get it to the tissues. So it's critical to manage this at the time you notice it. That swim bladder has to be shrunk down somehow, or it causes mortality rates that are unacceptable in the smallmouth. So what we have to do is provide a way to release that gas, and fizzing the fish with a needle is one way of managing it. If you were to release your fish immediately after catching them, there's absolutely no need for this. One thing that we need to do is acknowledge the difference between viability and just being alive at presentation, at the weigh-in. Viability means a fish goes on to eat and grow and reproduce. A fish that's just alive could be one fin wave away from dying, and that's what we want to avoid. We want to release viable fish that will go on to add to the population in future years.
Well put, Barb. Unless you are harvesting in totality the animal, you should be releasing it healthy, swimming, and ready to thrive. Once the kayak rental was through, we decided to kick it on that beach from earlier. A few casts later, and I caught this little bream. And Jacqueline caught herself a freshwater mussel. But it was Morgan who got the deadliest catch. She found some derelict fishing gear, lead sinkers and old fishing line, just ready to get tangled up in birds' feet and all kinds of trouble. Do you think I could get a heck yeah in the comments for this cool cleanup crew? And would you look at that, Griffin made a spider homie. I've been telling him how easy it is to hold these jumping spiders, and he's finally got the hang of it. If you've got the time, go down to the comments, say anything. Just let me know you're engaged, having a good time. Press that like button, and make sure that you're subscribed. Tell a friend, let them know that we're going to do something cool when we hit 100 subscribers by the end of the year. And before we make our way out of here, I'd like to give a special thank you to my friend Justin from the Myrtle Beach State Park. He's a ranger over there, and he just hooked me up with a GoPro camera. We're about to have some really awesome POV shots, and it's all thanks to my good friend over there. Everybody say thank you, Justin, in the comments.
「そして集いししたら」